The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the policies and the position of Now You Know.
Since assuming leadership of the nation's capital in 2019, Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso has transformed parts of Manila that have been decaying for years into clean, organized, and attractive spaces. At least in part because of this, he's become one of the most popular local chief executives in the country. But the mayor, who's also known now as Yorme, admits the city still has a long way to go before it's back to its old glory. It is a challenge that has been further complicated by the coronavirus pandemic. Manila is showing signs of a slowing outbreak, but Mayor Domagoso says the health crisis isn't over until it's over.
Yes, and of course, magandang hapon din sa lahat ng manonood namin dito sa Viewpoint. Okay, Mayor, medyo madami ka ng media guesting the past 2 days, ano? And in fact, nag-usap na tayo kahapon dun sa FOCA Forum. Yes, and I know na medyo extensive na po yung naging discussion ninyo tungkol doon sa controversial na white sand na nilalagay sa Manila Bay. Pero I hope you don't mind.
Sure.
Hihimayin ko pa rin siya
Okay.
for the sake of our viewers kasi baka yung viewers namin hindi masyadong familiar dun sa mga naging sagot mo na the past few days. So, first of all po, so ang sabi niya sa amin, pinakita niyo pa po sa amin yung letter ninyo kay Secretary Duque kahapon asking for clarification dun sa naging statement ni Yusek Vergere na hazardous yung dolomite. Ngayon, naglabas na ng official statement yung DOH. I'm
Yes.
sure you've seen it, saying na dahil hindi naman ganun kaliit yung particles ng crushed na dolomite na nilalagay sa Manila Bay, hindi ito yung sinasabi ni Yusek Vergere na hazardous. Ngayon, are you satisfied finally with the DOH response?
Of course, that's what I've been looking for. Remember our statement. We're very consistent with our view that as long as it is not found hazardous, there is nothing to worry. Now, as I have said, your opinion is as good as mine, not until that particular agencies of government come up with guidelines. In this case, yesterday, put an end to any doubts and fears to some. No? That's why sabi ko nga kanina, halika na, balik na tayo sa pandemic. Ako, baka nalilito na kayo. Merong imminent danger. And as I have said, again, kung sakaling halimbawa may kapabayaan doon, papanagutin naman natin yung mga individual. But as of the moment, sabi ko, balik na tayo sa pandemic. Huwag nyo na masyadong pinag-aalalayan. At least, papanatag na ang kalooban namin mga batang Maynila. At kung sino man yung dadako dito, na yung nilalagay doon ay ligtas at hindi makapaminsala sa kalusugan.
Actually, Mayor, since you mentioned nga na mabalik na tayo sa pandemic, na mag-focus na tayo sa pandemic, actually one of the criticisms is ill-timed daw po itong paglagay ng white sand sa Manila Bay. Kasi 389 million pesos yung ginastos para dyan, and spending that much money in the time of pandemic. So, yung criticism, kumbaga, parang bakit di ginamit na lang yung pera na yan para sa pandemic instead na doon sa Manila Bay, sa White Sands.
Yan yung mga ang tawag namin diyan, populist statement, just to show as if they care, statement. Alam naman nila yung nagsalita na yun, alam naman nila that was 2 years ago when it started. And even I think some politicians would agree that when they approve it, the budget of DNR, last year for the current year, included ang rehabilitation ng Manila Bay. So, our point is, alam mo naman ngayon, siyempre, sila nagpopolitikahan at the expense of Batang Maynila, kaming mga Batang Maynila. Ako ayoko makipag-meddle with their political point of views and personal political interests. May nagagaling-galingan, pero hayaan na natin. But
Yes,
I will agree with you and to our viewers, kung halimbawa, bigla-bigla na lang yan din ginawa, at kasagsagan ng pandemic, oo nga naman, napaka-insensitive naman ng kung sino nakaisip nun. But it is part of the program and plan, rehabilitation of Manila Bay, portion of Manila. Lagi kong inano yun, pagpapasensya nyo na ako kasi baka nagkakaroon ng confusion kasi sa Manila Bay. Manila Bay is large and huge, composed of different provinces and LGUs or city. Yung Manila is just a portion of it. That's why the Mandamus case, let me remind the fight or the struggle of our environmentalists who fought for it for 20 years, na nag-uumpisa pa lang yung kanilang fruits of their painstaking labor or yung pagsisikap nila na kunin ang atensyon ng gobyerno. Kaya there will be time for that. Dapat lang na ayusin na rin ang ibang lokal na pamahalaan.
Okay. Final.
Doon naman sa issue na yun, I may agree with them, but let's be realistic with our statement. Kami ba gumastos doon? Yan naman ang mabibigay ko sa yung garantiya. Wala naman kaming gastos doon kasi talagang lahat ginagastos natin. Hanggat maaari. Yung mga bagay na pwede nating ipagpabukas na paggawaing bayan para tustusan muna yung need to help our infected individual to survive and affected families economically sa pandemya nito.
Final 2 points on the white sand. I hope you don't mind,
No,
kasi,
it's okay.
Kasi meron naman nagpo-point out na sana kung gagastos lang din ng ganong kalaking pera, bakit hindi na lang mangrove? Kasi ang sinasabi
Hindi
nila,
na lang mangrove.
mangrove. Kasi yun talaga daw po, para sa mga environmentalist na nagsasabi nito, ay makakatulong sa Manila Bay, sa pagpapalinis sa Manila Bay, sa ecosystem ng Manila Bay, imbis na para sa kanila kasi itong white sand daw ay cosmetic lang daw po.
Maraming sana. Sana ganito, sana ganyan. Sana nilinis, yung mga nagsasalita niyan ay naging bahagi ng paglilinis ng Manila Bay araw-araw. At sana hindi rin sila nagtatapon ng basura. At sana sumusunod din sila sa mga lituntunin ng pamahalaan. Alam mo, maraming sana. Ako kasi, alam mo yung yung bang sa atin ba parang inaayos, wala tayong gastos, we are grateful. We, Manilas, ako bilang Manileño, not only as mayor, no? And we're excited that someday, somehow, sana nga, luminis yung tubig dagat. But kung yan pala ang mga naisip nila, sana nagbahagi rin sila nung panahon na pinaplano yun ng national government. At sana, yan din ang sinabi nila, noong walang bumikilos dyan na gobyerno. Yun lang naman yung akin. I respect their point of views, but we must move on.
Pero ang pinaka-end goal pa rin dyan is, yung sabi ninyo, is yung malinis yung tubig ng Manila.
Yun ang inaasahan natin. Hopefully na yung mga makinang inilagay o pasilidad ay talagang magdudulot ng malinis na tubig galing sa amin, no? Dito sa inland. Kaya kami rin naman in our own little way, ang siyudad ng Manila, sa pasilidad namin, as we speak, it's being constructed and hopefully someday, somehow, no, makatulong kami na bilang pamahalang lungsod ng Maynila. Ang tubig na itatapon namin doon yung malinis din.
Nakipag-coordinate na po ba sa inyo, Mayor, yung Cebu Provincial Local Government? Cebu Provincial Government rather. Kasi on the white sand because sabi nila, yes, Yorme, kasi ang sabi po ng provincial government ng Cebu, hindi daw po pinaalam sa kanila yung pagmina at yung pagtransport dito sa Dolomite. Meron pong
we are not a party to the contract. Di ba, ulitin natin ilagay ulit natin sa tamang perspective. Ang proyekto po ito na aming ipinagpapasalamat ay proyekto ni Pangulong Duterte, inutusan ng DNR, DPWH, MMDA, to heed to the order of Supreme Court in the Mandamos case. Ngayon, hindi kung kinuha sa Cebu na walang paalam, no, katulad ng sinasabi, I agree with the Governor Gwen Garcia. Rules and regulation must be observed also. Now, if there is liability on any person, private entity for that matter, dapat habulin ng lokal na pamahalaan. In our case, hindi naman kami party to the issue. No? We only answer based on your question about the safety, and tama naman yun. Our attention were called, and we formally acted on the matter by inquiring in a formal setting, no? Hindi through sa dyaryo o sa anuman. So, yun ang punto namin dyan. But I believe that Cebuanos deserve a good, clean, healthy environment. If it is prohibited and somebody, despite of the prohibition, did it, they should be held liable. But if this type of mining is already existing for decades, that I don't know. I'm not from Cebu. But I feel Governor Gwen and the people of Cebu na kung totoong hindi nila alam, nakakaawa naman talaga. Unfair yun sa Cebuanos at sa provincial government.
Okay. So malinaw yan, Mayor, na concerned kayo kung ganun nga yung sitwasyon.
Kasi pananagutan namin mga local chief executive yun, di ba? Meron kaming pananagutan sa taong bayan. Kaya nga, of all the questions, di ba, na it triggers us is the safety o yung health issue, di ba? Kaya ang ginagawa natin, action tayo. Hindi para sumagot lang kung sa tanong, kundi inquire tayo sa mga tamang ahensya na makapagbibigay sa atin ng garantiya because they are also can be made liable on their statement and or actions, no? Yun ang tingin kong tamang gawin. So the same manner with Cebuanos, siyempre malungkot yun pagka totoo yung sitwasyon na unfair talaga sa mga Cebuanos yun and to the provincial government.
Alright, Mayor, iwanan na po natin yung issue na yan at doon naman po tayo sa pandemic because ilang buwan na rin po tayo dito sa pandemic na ito, no? And yesterday, doon sa FOCA Forum, you were telling us na mukhang bumubuti na yung sitwasyon.
Mukha lang, ha? Mukha lang.
Ah,
Huwag kayong papanatag sa Maynila. But today, yesterday I have 880. Today, 876. Bumaba ng 4.
Bumaba ng 4, yes. So, unahin lang po natin yung sitwasyon sa mga ospital kasi
Thank
the
you.
last couple of months, may mga ospital sa Manila, mga local government-run hospitals na either nagsara totally or nagsara yung emergency
Portion
ward.
of it.
Parang na-overwhelm po kasi. And
No. Hindi sila na-overwhelm. Na-overwhelm yung infection. Sila yung naawa ko dahil yung doktor na mismo ang nai-infection, yung mga nurse. But yung patient, okay naman yung aming bed. Kasi modesty aside, medyo nilaparan talaga namin yung bed capacity namin sa COVID. Kaya lang naawa na ako. Halimbawa, let's just say, tama yung sinabi mo, may mga emergency room kaming sinara for almost 2 weeks. Kasi yung aming mga emergency doctors, nurses, staff, sila tinamaan. So gusto namin, kasi di ba exercising utility rin yun. Biro mo, doktor supposed to be gagamot sa'yo pero sila na makakahawa. Kaya naging unfair din naman sa kanila. Kaya ginawa namin, pag medyo nakikita namin yung heat map, it can be the entire hospital, which we did also. No? Nagsasara rin kami ng isang buong ospital. At para makarest yung paggulong ng infection within the institution. But all those closure, yung pagsasara strategically, modesty aside, we continue to open our COVID center or isolation ward.
So kumusta na po ngayon yung sitwasyon sa mga ospital na ito na nagsara po? I think it was July.
Sampaloc, Hospital ng Maynila, Gat Andres, Austin, Jazz. Ang hindi lang nagsasara, Santa Ana. So far, ang 47% as we speak, ang load capacity natin. Sa ating, out of 943 bed, no, ng ating 6 na ospital, we already appropriated 326 COVID bed capacity in the hospital. No? 47% ang occupancy natin.
So that's down from what number?
78.
Yung pinaka-worst?
Worst natin, halos umabot tayo ng 80. There was a time talaga, especially mga July.
So malaki na yung binaba nung yung capacity.
So far, yung load capacity natin.
Load capacity, yes, sa mga ospital.
Pero there's still danger because there is still infection.
Pero
gumaang, sort of say.
So can you say that the curve is already flattening in the city of Manila? Yung po kasing UP Octa Research Group, sinabi nila na it looks like we are already flattening the curve in the Philippines. So sa city of Manila po ba, ito rin yung nakikita ninyo? Kumbaga sumusunod po ba dito sa trend na sinasabi ng UP Octa Research Group?
Well, if sila naman mga scientifico, no, I think they have also basis for that. And if that is the case, salamat sa Diyos, no, medyo bumubuti ang katatayuan ng ating bansa. Sa Manila, siguro just to be safe to say, no, nung nag-regular tayong 14, 13, 14, 13, 14, napako tayo ng gusto dun eh. Buwan yata, 2 buwan yata, 14, 13. Tapos bigla akong nag-12, 11, 900. 800, 700, 600. Tapos palo ulit. 700, 800, nag-900, tapos ngayon 800. So, pag tinitingnan mo, yung numbers na yun, no? Marami yun, don't get me wrong, marami yung numbers na yun. Pero pag tinitingnan mo siya, medyo flat nga siya. Technically, visually, flat nga siya. But again, ako kasi, ang ano ko lagi, ang pangamba ko lagi kasi is isa. Because this virus came from patient zero. Now it's almost 12 million. So kaya ayokong parang alam mo yung yung no let up. Ayaw mong kumampante. But we continue to innovate and do some policies and actions, even stimulants in a form of incentives and all other things para i-pull pababa, no? But what I am after, ito, since day one, ito talaga ang naging goal natin. Dahil sa walang gamot at maaring may mamatay, which nangyari nga. Paano natin mabibigyan ng pagkakataon, madagdagan yung pagkakataon na makasurvive yung tao? So what are the measures, medically speaking? No? So yun, doon kami nakapokus. At doon talaga namin binuhusan ng gusto. Kaya nga sa awa ng Diyos, pagkatitingnan mo siya, no? Overwhelming yung out of 9,196, no? As of ito na, kanina to mananghali, no? 9,196, 7,969 ang kaligtas sa tiyak na kamatayan. So, yun ang naging talagang inambisyon namin. Kasi the logic behind, mas mahirap to go after to 2.4 million minds. To police them 24 hours a day. So, siyempre meron pa rin yung mga tolongges, meron pa rin mga ilang makukulit, o parang iba naman, wala lang. Lalo na nung una, naku, Diyos ko, kaya ako nagla-lockdown ng distrito rito nung kinakastigo natin, di ba? Yung parang, wala lang, hindi tayo tatablan yan. Then, mas mahirap habulin yun, no? And now, I'm grateful to them. They are following, nagkukusa na, unti-unti na, nag-a-adapt na. But, it's easier where we are in control. Because we have hospital, we have doctors. So what we need is equipment and mga gamot na napatunayan na ng mundo na nakatutulong.
Remdesivir?
Remdesivir, oo. Kaya ang dami namin binili na Remdesivir. At ito pinahiram namin, modesty aside. Hindi namin ito binibenta, nakukuha ito ng mga taga Maynila ng libre, at napapahiram pa namin ito sa mga pribadong ospital just to save a life.
So, nakita niyo na ba yung effect nitong Remdesivir? Na talagang
Alam mo, good question. Nobody asked me that so far. Alam mo kahapon, Lunes. Meron akong tinatawag na every Monday directional meeting, no? That is the same question. Sabi ko, okay, it's been 3 weeks now, no? Show me datas how nag-improve ang isang patient natin na nilagyan natin ng Remdesivir. Kasi meron ako mga kwento. May mga kakilala na nung nangangailangan sila ng gamot, ng Remdesivir, nung pinahiram namin. Someday, sosolid nila sa amin yun. Naligtas, meron pa akong kwentong isa on a personal note, from Tondo, a girl from Tondo, she was given 48 hours sa pamilya niya. But they found out that we have Remdesivir. They asked, alam mo yun, nakalabas na siya ngayon. Ligtas na siya. So these are good stories for us in a policy-making view. Are we on the right track? Are we getting a right suggestion? Because I did not think about it. I researched about it and I asked ang tawag dito, mga opisyal na tao, doktor, epidemiologist, and so on and so forth. Then, ginawa namin, and so far, okay. Now, generally, kahapon, nakakuha na ako ng report. Alam mo, magandang-maganda. Totoo yung nagaganap sa Estados Unidos. Yung sinasabi na may claim, if I'm not mistaken, I think Fauci or the CDC for that matter, that remdesivir helps about 35% sa recovery ng tao. So sabi ko kasi, anything above zero is positive because there is no cure, there is no vaccine, anything that will help. Kaya naman namin na-discover yun, kakabasa, then siguro in a general term na mas madaling maintindihan natin tayong hindi mga doktor. Yung remdesivir kasi has a broad spectrum in killing virus. At tinatamaan niya si coronavirus. So far maganda. Wala pa siyang final report, but I've seen the rundown na tinira ng remdesivir. Lahat improving, lahat recovered. So far.
Kaya natanong yun, Yorme, kasi I want to ask you if you can attribute itong pagbaba ng dami ng kaso ninyo sa Manila dito sa pag-purchase ninyo ng remdesivir.
Maraming factor. Isa na doon yung pinagpapasalamat ko sa mga taga Maynila. Ano yan? At kayong mga dumadako, di ba, araw-araw talagang nananawagan kami, magdisiplina kayo, magpusang-disiplina kayo, pag malasakitan ninyo ang sarili ninyo, kapag kayo nasa labas ng bahay, dahil para nyo na rin pinagmalasakitan yung inyong mga mahal sa buhay na naghihintay sa inyo. That is one thing. You're trying to empower the people and be fair to the people by telling factual situation. Kasi the least thing that I can is to share to you, this is the real picture. Tapos may suggested measures that you as citizen can participate. That's one. Two, mga ordinansa, mga batas, at polisiya na pinatutupad ng lungsod at ng IATF. I have to give it to IATF also, the National Task Force. They are very helpful and guiding us, kaming mga mayor sa Metro Manila, towards a particular direction or decision. Three, I owe it to the enforcement unit, the civilian and uniformed personnel enforcement unit, by tuloy-tuloy yung pagpapatupad ng pagpapaalala physically, literal, sa kalsada, COVID marshals, the police, and to top it all, I am grateful to our doctors and nurses. Kasi talagang ako kasi parang anong nangyari, alam mo yung wish list, lahat ng hilingin nila, sa tingin nila, the way they understand the virus that will help the patient, bigay naman tayo ng bigay. Kami suporta bilang lokal na pamahalaan. So, marami siyang factor. But the biggest part of it is, with regard to recovery, ay yung aming mga doktor, nurses, and medical health workers.
So since you mentioned them, nakatulong po ba yung MECQ na hiniling nila for 2 weeks noong August?
Siguro, pagdating ng araw, papanatag ang database natin lahat. Kasi ngayon, may confusion pa we're still in the middle of the battle against coronavirus. Kasi hindi mo pwede masabi na dahil sa MECQ, bumaba. Dahil sa GCQ, tumaas. Kasi nung ECQ, mas maigpit yun. May infection pa rin So, the point is, the virus is within us already. So, it's in us. Tayo na, within us. Sa atin na. Kaya, ano naging data nung ECQ? MECQ, GCQ, and MGCQ. So, later on, mapag-aaralan siguro yun for the next generation. Ngayon, pwede tayong maghaka-haka. Hindi, kaya bumaba yan kasi nag-ano tayo, MECQ o nag-ECQ. Ano yun, no? Medyo napaka-fluid pa nun. Especially me, no? I think I would rather consult a scientist, socio-analyst, or epidemiologist that understand different demographics, geographies, and populations, economic. Marami kasi siyang factor, no? Na pwedeng i-attribute. Kaya just to be safe and conservative about the situation, tanggapin ng katotohanan. May panganib. Paano natin maiiwas ang tao sa panganib? Ito ang gawin natin. Pag siya naman nalagay sa panganib na, no, ano naman ang pwede nating iduktong o itawid o itulay yung tao sa kaligtasan.
So having said that, may kaba po ba kayo na ngayon na GCQ na, baka tumaas ulit yung kaso? Kasi ito pong GCQ nyo ngayon, so nakalagpas 1 week na po tayo dito sa panahon GCQ, no? Pero itong GCQ na ito, kumpara dun sa huling GCQ, parang mas opened up a little bit more yung economy. Hindi ba may 24/7 kayo na pinayagan delivery, yung mga gyms, pinayagan na, mga tutorial centers, internet cafes, pinayagan na rin. So, iba, tama ba? Iba po itong GCQ na to dun sa huli natin na naging GCQ.
Yes, magkaiba to. No? Okay. To be frank and honest, may kaba ba ako? Yes, since day one. Lagi akong may kaba. Kasi we saw it. We saw in the news what transpired on the other side of the world. We saw death everywhere by the trucks. So talagang may kaba. Walang issue do sa kami ba ay takot. But yung first month, second month, I think that is enough time for us to learn the virus. Particularly no mga doktor at nurses natin. And having said that, science, thanks to science and to those people behind as we speak, maybe somebody is not sleeping and trying to find a cure, busy and addressing this pandemic. Kaya iba itong ating GCQ ngayon. Kasi after natin ma-realize, teka, paano na ang trabaho ng tao? Paano na ang negosyo ng tao? Then, I came up with, in my own little way, na pinagpapaalam naman namin sa IATF, na sabi ko, okay, baka pwede magluwag-luwag tayo ng konti. And at the same time, sinabi ko sa kanila, sabi ko, for the meantime, we must accept and how to live with COVID-19 every day. And let's go back to work safely. No? So with that statement, it became a policy in the city of Manila. Okay, buksan natin konti-konti, pero teka, mahigpit tayo maging responsable tayong negosyante, maging responsable tayong empleyado kasi marami nang nagugutom. And it is quite unfair for you or to others that we continue to sustain it through ayuda. Alam mo, may katwiran dyan sa kalsada, no? And let me share it with you. Ano man ang lalim ng balon, kapag hindi nare-refill yun, matutuyo yun. So, we cannot sustain the problem by continue giving away, dole out. We have to run the machine. Economy. So, fortunately, kami namang 17 na mga mayor, and I have to give it to my colleague in Metro Manila. Generally, most of the time, and sometimes unanimously, we all agree on a particular industry, policy, or mga ipatutupad namin. Kaya yan nag-evolve. In fairness sa IATF, kukonsultahin nila kaming 17. Tapos pag meron kaming gusto na pantulong sa tao, sa ekonomiya, sa negosyo, kukonsultahin yung mga sekretaryo ng particular na ahensya na yun. Then, i-adjust nila yung rules. Kaya yung dating, napansin mo, kaya tama yung observation mo eh. Napansin mo, ibang GCQ ito sa dating GCQ. Kasi pinaluluwag ng konti towards, alam mo yung towards normalization, but responsible, maigpit. Doon talaga tayo papunta. And it has to go that way. We have to, all of us now, the viewers who are watching, must come all together to that journey. We must have one direction, which is in this case, yawan nyo sana magka-vaccine, but for the meantime, let's walk all together for normalization of our lives.
So it sure sounds like hindi na tayo babalik sa MECQ or sa ECQ.
No, posible yan Posible yan. Posible tayong bumalik sa ECQ, posible tayong bumalik sa ECQ, MECQ. Pag naging talipandas tayo pare-pareho. Pagka itong mga numerong ito, nagpabaya tayo, nagpariwara, ay posible yan. Wala ngayon napaka-fluid. Walang tuldok ngayon, puro kuwit. With regard to pandemic. So, wag natin ilalagay yon sa isipan natin na hindi na tayo babalik. Posible po mga kababayan, kaya wag tayo magpabaya. Ngayon nakakaramdam tayo ng kaluwagan. Let's continue this kaluwagan, but we must be responsible while outside of our house.
Tanong ko kasi, Yorme, is is the City of Manila ready to transition into MGCQ? Which is, alam naman na mas maluwag pa yan. Pwede nang lumabas yung mga senior, mga bata, limited activities of course, pero
siguro let me answer that a month from now. I have to see more datas. Pero kung unti-unti nabubukas ang industriya, maaring paboran ko agad. Pero ayoko lang mabigla. Ngayon, ayoko ikipit balikat ba. Siguro a month from now, I will have a comparative data of all the GCQs and MECQs and the effects of it with regard to infection and the economy. Worth it ba? Worth it ba magluwag? Totoo bang mababawasan yung unemployment? Makaka-recover ba yung mga negosyante? Kasi hindi na sila makaka-recover, pero makaka-survive ba yung mga negosyante? Hindi sila makaka-recover for this year, but we want to sustain them, survive them, at least ma-break even lang nila para laging may trabaho sa baba. At saka may komersyo, gumugulong yung produkto. So, yun tingnan ko mga a month from now.
Kasi Yorme, lumalabas na si Jose Marichan.
Hindi siya pwede lumabas. Senior citizen si Jose Marichan.
Kasi yung tinatanong ng mga Manilenyo at actually ng maraming Pilipino, may Pasko ba yung taon na to?
Okay. Katulad ng ginawa natin, may November 1. Yung All Souls Day, kaya inaabatan natin yung future problem. Yes, may Pasko po. Umulan, bumagyo, magkaroon ng dilubyo, at katulad dito, pandemya, matutuloy po yan. Ang tanong na lang, kasama ba tayo naaabutin yung Pasko? Kasi importante yung kaligtasan muna natin, mga kababayan. Yung kalusugan muna natin. Na mairaos natin yung pamilya natin sa paghahanap buhay para meron kayo mapagharimunan sa kanya-kanyang lamesa, sa pang-araw-araw na kakailanganin ng tao. Tapos malusog tayo, ligtas tayo. Katulad ko, nadali ako the other day. Kung mapapasin mo, wala pa akong goli. Remember my shirt? This is the same shirt. I slept here because when I found out last night that the person that I'm with in a closed room, the day before that, so alam mo yung hindi mo na naman makikita yung anak mo, hindi mo na naman makakasama ang pamilya mo. Yung may konting sakripisyo siya. So I slept here again and I got tested, pinahinog namin. Then I got tested this morning Bago tayo magkausap, a few minutes before that, lumabas yung test negative. Salamat sa Diyos. So,
Congratulations.
there is still danger. Alam mo yon, yung pili mo, ilang beses na ako nahagip sa kwartong ito. Di ba? Parang, what are the chances? Di ba? Mahirap talaga, but we should not live in fear. Yes, there must be fear, and that is a good attitude. Kasi naturally, ililigtas mo sarili mo. Tama? And nature ng human being yan eh. But we should not live there. We move konti-konti.
Okay. Since you mentioned yung pong November 1, so just real quick, ano po yung
may
mga
Pasko,
rules?
ha? To answer that directly, may Pasko po.
Yung November 1 po, ano po, real quick, ano po yung mga rules para sa mga Manileño?
Oo, kasi di ba sinabi ng World Health Organization at saka DOH, no? As a matter of guidelines, yung minimum health protocol. Wash your hands, wear mask, physical distancing. I am going to fail on November 1 as government, as local government unit. Going to fail to police almost 1.5 million people will go to North Cemetery alone, and about 800,000 sa South Cemetery. Kaya, so, if failure is inevitable and it is quantifiable already, although it's a future failure. Kasi kung may future benefit na naku-quantify mo, siguro pwede mo rin ma-assess yung risk. Hindi natin kakayanin yan. Then, there is ample time, kaya ako humihingi ng patawad sa ating mga kababayan na pagpasensya nyo na ako kung masasaktan ko ang damdamin ninyo, but I have to do it, no? For our own sake, or everybody's sake, na yung tradisyon, kakancelin muna natin. So that's the logic about it. To give you ample time to continue to practice tradition in a different timeline, but safer for those who's going to visit. So, inagahan namin. So, meron kang 2 buwan. Pero sana naman wag kayong October 30. Kasi October 31, bawal na. October 30. Maganda yung tanong sa akin ni Karen kanina. Paano kung October 30? Huwag naman po. Ngayon, gusto niyo naman, I think maunawaan naman tayo ng mga kaluluwa na mahal natin sa buhay na nahimlay. Pwede naman natin silang bisitahin any time of the year. And to top it all, ako naman, as a Catholic, no? Ang pinakamabisa, ipagdasal natin ang kanilang kaluluwa, tanggapin sa kaharian ng Panginoon Diyos, at patawarin sila sa kanilang mga kasalanan. So,
Pero
may mga ways naman.
Pero paano ninyo, how will you ensure na hindi magsasabay-sabay yung mga tao? Yun na nga.
May ngayon doon. As we speak, mahigpit talaga pinapractice namin yung yung protocol. In fact, talagang hirap na hirap silang makapasok lately. Hindi naman mahirap like ayaw namin. It's just that kung magsasabay-sabay talaga kayo, mababalang po. Sayang yung oras ninyo.
Pero kumbaga ang guidance lang po para sa mga pupunta, may limit po ba kung ilan lang, bawat pamilya?
Bawal ang senior pag GCQ pa tayo, bawal ang bata kapag GCQ pa tayo. Ayun.
Yun lang po. So pero hindi naman 2 tao lang bawat puntod, 3 tao lang.
Hindi naman. Ayoko naman masyadong harsh in a way, no? But we must be responsible for ourselves, yung mga pupunta. Kasi imagine mo, makalusot lang yung isa doon. Ubus kayo. Sa susunod, kayo na po ang dadalawin.
Okay. Alright. Yung pong a week ago or maybe a week and a half ago, sinabi niyo po na magbibigay kayo ng incentive sa mga barangay, 100,000 pesos na mag-zero cases. Ngayon, medyo na-criticize po ito kasi may nagsabi po na baka hindi po magbigay ng mga totoong numero yung mga barangay. Ngayon
Tama
po
naman
medyo...
yun. Tama yung pag-aalala na yun.
So, ngayon, nakailan araw na po since in-announce nyo to, how has it been working so far? Yung bang fear na yon ng mga kritiko, nakikita nyo po ba na pwedeng mangyari yun?
that kind of statement, I look at it as not literally critic. Yun yung mga ganong statement, yun yung tinatawag na sensible concern. Medyo tama yun eh. Pero as you all know, para sa kapanatagan ng ating mga kababayan, hindi naman po barangay ang nagre-report ng infection. Ang nagre-report po ng infection, dalawang bahagi po ng gobyerno. National government at local government. DOH saka MHD, Manila Health Department. Kasi lahat ng ospital, private, public, lahat ng laboratory, private, public, kailangan mag-report sa dalawang ahensya, lokal at nasyonal. At binabanda yan, yung data niya. So kami ang nakakaalam. Katulad ko kanina, let me share you an experience of testing. No? Tinest ako, tatanungin doon, pangalan, contact number, address, barangay. I have to fill it up. So malalaman namin kung ako nag-positive, yun, ako sa barangay na yung positive ako, hindi siya qualified. Now, let me go back now to the principle behind it. Kababanggit mo lang kanina, magpapasko. If there is continuing infection, then what more will happen pagdating ng Pasko, which is tayo may pinakamahabang Pasko sa buong mundo. No? We celebrate it talagang month-long. Then, what will be our exponential growth during Christmas season? And what we can do for January. Ito, banking na walang gamot. Banking na magtuloy-tuloy lang, na infection, walang vaccine. We're just trying to, while we focus today on a daily thing, we also look forward what we can do to continue our effort to suppress the numbers. So this is one of those. Na hinihikayat namin yung mga mamamayan na yung barangay manatiling ligtas sa virus. So kung meron ng infection ngayon, let's just say, ito, base muna natin ngayon, 876. Exponentially, kung halimbawa December na ngayon, baka malaki yung numero. Baka lang naman. No? Inaabatan ko lang. So kung mababa yung base na pababa namin through this effort in 2 months, excuse me, for 2 months, sa pababa namin pa yung numbers, yung base ng exponent, mababa rin. So, come January, we still have X number of beds for our quarantine facility. We have X number of remdesivir for those who will get infected. We have X number of bed capacity, COVID bed capacity in our medical institution. We still have to buy more or how many PPEs that we can buy, and so on and so forth. Marami siyang factor na kaya namin na-arrive yung ganong kasi meron kaming kailangan gawin na paghahanda. Kasi ang hirap talaga alam mo naalala mo yung mga first week, second week natin, naalala mo yung ni PPE ginagamit ng mga doktor, mga plastic. Kasi nangabigla lahat. Nagulat tayo. And I think we should take that seriously, that kind of experience. Yung first 2 weeks natin sa pandemyang ito. Kasi maraming nabulag doon. At nagulat, lahat tayo. And learning from that lesson, it's a mistake. Mistake yun. Nating lahat. Kasi talaga nagkagulatan eh. Yeah? But again and again, we move on. We learn from it. Don't do it again. Prepare your capacity, equipment, tools, and all other things, and the people. People is always the key na nagre-ready sila.
Last couple of questions, Yorme.
Sure.
No? Pinagsasabihan na ako ng producer ko na malaki. Pero I want to get your comment on the possible new policy na bawal na raw ang home quarantine. Sa experience nyo dyan sa lungsod ng Manila, sa tingin nyo po ba this will be an effective policy?
Of course, any policy that sa tingin na ay makatutulong, dapat itry. Di ba? Sa amin, sa Maynila, I am in support of that. Because, modesty aside, we've been building quarantine facility. Even there is no demand for it. I think some of our friends in the media who are always here in Manila, nakita nila yan, Marso, Abril, Mayo, Hunyo, Hulyo, bukas kami na bukas ng quarantine facility. At as of today, 60% ang aming nakalagay. Ano nakalagay dito sa quarantine facility natin? Hanggang sa baba, no? 11% ito yung may comorbidity. No? Kasi nag-evolve. Dati, ang quarantine facility natin, yung naghihintay lang ng resulta. Then sumunod, nag-innovate siya, nag-evolve, positive, confirmed positive, pero asymptomatic. Dati pa yon, ginagawa ng Maynila. Now, if that is going to be a general policy now by IATF, we will support it. We'll try to manage people. If there is danger and maybe lack of discipline on the part of a confirmed patient na baka lumalabas pa rin siya, hindi niya sinusunod, then I think that policy will help. And we will agree with the IATF.
Ang worry po kasi ng mga ibang mga doktor, baka daw po hindi na magpa-test yung mga taong may nararamdaman, yung may mga symptoms, dahil ayaw nila magpa-quarantine sa kung saan hindi nila bahay, kumbaga.
Kaya ang tinatawag niya may pamamahala. Kaya may gobyerno. Yung gobyerno, pag gumawa ng polisiya, ipatutupad. Yun naman yan, matter of implementation. Pero kasi kami, di ba may saturation drive kami? We look for them. And fortunately, and I'm grateful to the people of Metro Manila and some nearby provinces, they go to Manila just to be tested because we make it available for free. Sino naman ng, di ba, actually, it's the other way, no? There is another point of people don't want to get tested kasi may bayad. Mahirap na nga siya. So, ba't pa siya gagastos? Hindi siya gagastos. Kaya sabi ko, bigyan natin libre. Kasi kung ang tao gusto yan, nature ng tao yan eh. Sa buong mundo, human being to. Gusto niya mag-survive. Lalo na kung nakakaramdam siya ng mga simptomas. Tapos kung mababalitaan niya na yung mga quarantine facility naman, maayos, air condition, may pagkain, di ba? May mga professionals, medical professionals in the quarantine facility. Kami nga, di ba, may buntis kami. Quarantine facility for pregnant women, may quarantine facility kami for dialysis patient. So, sinisegregate naman namin.
Yorme, can you allow, sorry isa lang pong
Sure.
viewer question.
Sure.
Nothing to do with what we've been talking about the past hour. Pero meron po kasing question from Heritage Building Advocates. Yung Film Life Theater po daw kasi is in the process of getting demolished.
Yes.
And gusto sana nila, sabi nila sa akin, I'm not sure kung nakita nyo na po, they already wrote to you about this. They're concerned kasi ito pong, I grew up in Paco eh. So, itong Film Life Theater, bahagi din po to ng childhood ko. So, they're worried na mawawala ito. Tapos meron pa raw pong 4 na mga heritage buildings sa Binondo area na up for demolition din daw po. So, what is your stand on this?
Kami, bago kami pumirma, no? Ako, personally, bago ako pumirma ng mga pagsasaayos sa makabagong at modernong building, ng mga lumang building, we make sure that they are not included in the list of heritage site through NSI. Silang kinukuhanan ko ng ng clearance. Now, if this will be struck down as part of heritage, galing sa NHI, we allow them. Now, if another requirements issued by NHI, sige, pwede nyo i-develop pero yung pasad, kailangan panatilihin ninyo. We agree with NHI. So kasi, ang heritage talaga, while it's a matter of policy of the city, na pangalagaan ng mga natitira pa, but these are private properties. yung mga government facility o government-owned, kami, inalagaan namin. Yung amin. Pero these are private properties. But it doesn't mean private properties, they can just do what they want to do. There are regulations. Though, that's why they have to seek clearance from NHI. And I hope they have that. Because violation thereof will make them liable.
So, sa kaso po ng Film Life Theater?
Ah?
Sa kaso po ng Film Life Theater?
Wala pa kaming nabibigay sa amin na ano. Hinahanap pa namin yung kanilang NHI clearance at kung ano ang gagawin.
Okay. So, hindi pa po yan madedemolish?
I would assume, kailangan meron tayong tangan-tangan na clearance from, kasi ganito yun, no? To visually share it to you, pag pipirma na ako, may tatakyan dito, may palagay na ako para hindi na malito, nakalagay yan, not included, with clearance from NHI. So, ang presumption ko ay dumaan na yan sa tamang ahensya ng gobyerno. Kasi nga, baka nga mamaya sa dami na, alam mo naman, ang gobyerno hindi perfecto, no? But I'm really trying to limit the opportunity that we can na magkaroon kami ng mistake. No? But for now, yung mga ibang building talaga, marami kaming nahabol. Marami kaming nahabol. Kasi nabigyan na nung araw. Pero at the very least, yung mga pasad o yung mga allowable within the rules ng NHI.
Okay. Finally, Yorme, kahapon, sabi nyo, kaninang umaga din, sabi ninyo, lahat naman ng mga politiko ay nag-iisip o may balak na tumakbo for higher office and in particular for the presidency. So, if you don't mind, yes or no answer lang po, in 2022, are you thinking of running for president in 2022?
I'm not thinking about it. I'm literally focused on pandemic. Literally, with all honesty. Ayoko malito. May panganib eh. What is there to govern in 2022 if there's no people already or your constitution is already dead? There is no point to govern and look at this itong mga to inuuna kasi yung kanilang ambisyon. May panganib ngayon, no? Ito yung nandito ngayon sa atin, ikaw, ako, mga kababayan natin. So doon lang ako talaga, no matter what. Naalo lang nga tayo, tama nga yung sinabi mo kanina, nung sa umpisa, okay, mukhang naliko tayo ng konti tungkol dyan sa Manila Bay. Balik tayo dito, yung sinasabi ko, balik tayo dito, may pandemic. Tama yung sinabi mo, naging busy tayo, kaka-address sa Manila Bay. Pero sa totoo, we're focused. Kasi wala akong makitang perfect solution sa COVID-19. So napaka-fluid ng sitwasyon. So the same manner, modesty aside, your city government really tried to adapt best practices, yung mga practice na may proof na may magandang resulta sa ibang syudad sa Pilipinas o sa mundo. So focus ko lang talaga pandemya with all honesty. But as I have said, di ba, lahat kami, including me and others, especially nasa taas na posisyon, lahat yan, gusto yan magpresidente. Nandiyan ka na sa gobyerno eh. Maximum yan eh. But for now, I'm into it. I'm into pandemic. Yun lang muna.
Alright.
Makakaraos din tayo.
Alright, and on that note, thank you so much, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso. Salamat po kasi wala po kayong tulog pero pinaunlakan niyo pa rin kami. So,
nainip naman ako. Wala lang goalie.
Hindi ko alam kung anong worse eh. Walang tulog o walang goalie eh. Ano bang worse kung sa talaga na yun?
But anyway, again, last na lang, mananawagan ako. Let me use this program to inform everybody. Mga kababayan, may panganib pa po sa Maynila. So kung kayo dadako o pupunta sa Maynila, mag-ingat lang po kayo. And practice natin yung tatlong bagay, no? Alam ko po parang masakit na sa tenga, pero we continue to remind you, wear your mask, wash your hands, practice physical distancing. Again, we can live with COVID-19. We can survive this. But at the same time, we must move forward, move on, and going back to work safely and do our business. Ingat lang po, may awa ang Diyos, makakaraos din tayo. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Yorme. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone for watching this week's episode of Viewpoint. You'll catch us live every Saturday. That's our regular schedule at 6 p.m. Again, my name is Barnaby Lo. This is Viewpoint. Now you know.